Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the April 13th Board of Ed meeting. Mrs. Slunt, roll call, please.
Dr. Cordolino?
Here.
Mr. Daughtry?
Here.
Mrs. Fano?
Here.
Dr. Modrak?
Here.
Mr. O'Brien? He is,
Continue.
He's there. I see him.
whenever
He's
Might get muted.
There he is.
Mr. Rappaport?
Here.
Ms. Zuckerman?
Here.
Mr. Palma?
Here.
Mr. Grouse?
Here.
Mr. Joe? Here? No. Ms. Rossinow?
Here, it's just me tonight. Elliot can't make it.
Okay, thank you,
Happy
Natalie.
Natalie.
All right, pledge allegiance, please.
Here.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of
Flag
the United States of
United States of
America,
America,
the republic
to
for
the
which it
republic
stands,
that stands,
one nation,
one nation,
under God,
under God,
indivisible,
indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Sunshine Law, Mrs. Slunt.
The New Jersey Open Public Meeting Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of the Act, the Montville Township Board of Education provided a public notice of this meeting, which included the time, date, and location that was posted at the Montville Township Municipal Building, all Montville Public Schools, the Montville Public Library, the Montville Township Board of Education Administrative Office Building, the district website, and advertised in the Daily Record, the board's official newspaper, on January 9th, 2021.
Thank you, Katrina. Natalie, you're it.
Yep. Okay. So I'm going to start with athletics. So for girls basketball, while the season ended in early March, postseason recognition continues to roll out for the team, especially senior captain Bella Vito, who made the NJ.com All-State team. She's the first ever athlete from Montville girls basketball to be named as one of the top 15 players in the state. So congratulations, Bella. For the bowling team, Ben Sherman was named to the first team Star Ledger All-State boys bowling team. And the team had a perfect season and ended ranked #1 in the state. So congratulations to the boys bowling team. The MTHS competition cheerleading team are state champions in varsity all music large. So congratulations also to the MTHS competition cheerleading team. For wrestling, the team currently has a record of 2-5, and on March 18th, they defeated Lenape Valley 42-33, and their next match is April 20th against High Point. Volleyball, they currently have a record of 6-4, and the team beat Fairlawn yesterday, April 12th, 2-1 in the first round of the state sectional tournament. So they will advance and play Morris Knowles tomorrow in the quarterfinals on April 14th. And the spring sports started practices on April 1st, and this includes girls lacrosse, boys lacrosse, golf, track and field, baseball, and softball. And boys tennis started on March 27th, so all spring sports are now in session. And for the future, on Monday, April 17th, boys tennis has a match versus Northern Highlands, boys lacrosse versus Kinnelon, girls lacrosse versus Glenrock, and baseball versus Randolph. So that's a big day for the spring sports. And on Wednesday, April 21st, softball has a game away at Butler. So that's all for athletics, if anyone has questions regarding that. Okay,
Good job.
so now I'm going to move on to past news and events at MTHS. In late March, the forensics team competed in the state championship. The Mustangs took third in the state, and 4 team members were named state champions. Over spring break, the virtual FBLA State Leadership Conference concluded with the award session. Over 15 MTHS students were recognized as place winners in the state, and MTHS as a whole was placed 4th in Outstanding Chapter in the state. And the April 2021 edition of the MTHS Podium was released and is now available. And the link to the edition can be found on Schoology. And I think it was also posted on Twitter for the Montville Township Schools. And for the future at MTHS, FBLA will be hosting the Lunch and Learn series this Friday, April 16th from 2 to 3 p.m., where students interested in marketing, sales, or personal branding can come listen to a guest speaker share their experience in the business world. Seniors are encouraged to look on the grade 12 Schoology page to see what scholarships they're eligible for and can apply to. And while many deadlines have passed, there are still more which have deadlines in the coming weeks. The MTHS Spring Musical Bright Star will be from Thursday, April 22nd through Saturday, April 24th at 7:30 p.m. This is a virtual production, and tickets for the event can be purchased online at a link which is posted on Schoology and the Montville Theater Company website. And lastly, the registration for Fall 2021 MTHS Marching Band is coming up. Students in grades 8 through 12 are eligible, and you can email montvillebandboosters@gmail.com for information and registration details. And there will be an information meeting on Thursday, April 15th at 7:30 via Zoom for anyone who's interested. And that's it.
Very good, Natalie. Thank you so much.
You're
And thank you for the comprehensive update of all the sports and the activities at the high school. Does anyone have any questions for Natalie? I think this is the first time our boys bowling team was #1 in the state. And congratulations to those. I know we'll be honoring them at a future board meeting probably. But thanks again, Natalie, and we'll hope to see you in a few weeks. Okay?
Yep, you're
Tell
welcome.
Elliot he
Charlie,
wasn't there.
actually, I have
You
one
did a
quick
great
question for
job.
Natalie. If we don't get Schoology, how do we get the tickets for the play?
There's the Montville Theater Company website. I'm sure if you just Google that, there will be like a URL that comes up. I think it also might be posted on the Montville Township Schools Twitter feed. So I think it's also found there.
Yeah, I
I
just
can
Googled
send
Montville
you-
High School Theater. Okay.
I'll send you the link, Mike.
Okay, thank you.
Renee will send you, she'll send them to everybody, okay?
Yep.
Thank you again, Natalie.
You're welcome.
If there's no other questions for Natalie, we'll let her go her way if she'd like. And this next part of the agenda would be Superintendent's report. Dr. Renee Rotar.
Okay. I did place a link in the agenda to the third quarter update on the district goals. I will not go into any great detail on those since folks can read that update. I did just want to note that at the early April, I guess April 7th, State Board of Education meeting, there is a resolution that has been proposed to them. I guess they'll take action at a future meeting to postpone the implementation of the revised social studies curriculum standards to September of 2022. So that will probably have a little bit of an impact on the one goal that we had with regard to revision of our social studies curriculum. Just a couple of items to note. Last week, the United States Department of Education sent a communication to the New Jersey Department of Education indicating that they would accept our department's proposal not to administer the New Jersey Student Learning Assessment this spring, and instead administer the Start Strong assessment, which is an abbreviated assessment that will be done in the fall. So we will not have the New Jersey Student Learning Assessment administered to our students this spring. Great news for us because we will not experience that disruption in the instructional process between now and the end of the school year. It does appear that there has been some flexibility granted by the governor based on an executive order that was issued last Friday to allow districts to hold outdoor graduation ceremonies with no limit on the attendees. So we are currently working on those plans, Mr. Sanford, and the details certainly will be communicated as soon as those plans are finalized. The administrative team is continuing to make plans for the 2021-2022 school year. As per the governor's directive, we are planning on a full day of school at all of the levels. We're still waiting for a little bit of additional detail from the New Jersey Department of Education, but our plans continue to move forward in that regard. And finally, we We've been very lucky that we haven't had any additional snow days, and I feel confident that we probably won't now that we're almost to the middle of April. So you never can say for any certainty, but we do have one snow day that we need to give back, and the administrative team will be discussing that at our meeting tomorrow, and hope to be able to communicate with regard to that with parents by the end of this week. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Rotar. Any questions for Dr. Rotar by the board? Okay. Before we move into committee reports, there's a lot of good news happening. Natalie gave a lot of it in her report, but there's a lot written on the agenda too, and I would hope that everybody, the board and the public, have a chance to review it, because there's a lot of great things happening in our schools, and I think we should be aware of it, because we're very proud of it. We go into committee reports. Finance, any report, Karen?
No, Charlie, no report tonight.
I don't think.
As a reminder, there will be the public hearing on the 21-22 school budget at our April 27th meeting.
I don't think any of the committees have met, have they?
No, not since our last meeting.
Okay, no committees have met, so let's go to the delegates. New Jersey School Boards, Karen, anything since our last meeting?
You're muted.
There was a Board of Directors meeting on the 19th. Highlights of that meeting include the fact that dues for New Jersey School Boards Association there'll be no increase for the 12th consecutive year. Workshop will be virtual again this year. That was a decision made after much review and analysis of various items. And NJSBA is working on a strategic plan going forward.
Thank you, Karen. Morris County School Boards, Mr. O'Brien?
They have not met since the last report.
Mr. Rappaport, Educational Services?
We meet tomorrow night at 6:30.
Thank you. Mr. Palmer, Drug Awareness?
We meet tomorrow night at 7:30.
Athletic Boosters, Mr. O'Brien?
Since the last report, they have not met. They meet tomorrow night, but it is only executive board for this meeting, so there will not be a report.
Thank you. Delegates to the liaisons to the Cedar Hill, Karen?
No report.
Hilldale, I have no report. Joe Daughtry, Valley View?
No report.
Christine Mason?
Yes, so they are selling their spirit wear, and they're actually selling a lot of it. So they're asking folks to keep purchasing it. They're looking at possibly having an outdoor assembly and getting outdoor spaces having better Wi-Fi. And I think that's happening, and they're very happy about that. 12 seniors actually applied for their scholarship, and that's the most ever. Normally, the president said 3 seniors apply. So that's good for all those students. They're working on the yearbook, and they need input from parents on how to spend funds. It was
I'm sure you'll be able to help there.
They're really a great bunch of, the parents are great, the principal's great. They really have such a nice relationship. They work together really well.
Great. Thank you, Christine. Woodmont, Mr. Palmer?
No report.
Lazar? Dave or Michelle?
Michael?
No report. High school?
Next meeting's May 13th.
Michelle? Pardon?
Next meeting for the high school is May 13th.
Thank you. Negotiations, Karen?
we had a brief meeting with the association on March 22nd, exchanged some packages and proposals. We plan to meet again on April 19th.
Thank you. We haven't met the administrators or supervisors yet. Public participation. This is an opportunity for any member of the public to speak about anything that is on the agenda. Is there anyone out there that would like to speak about any items on the agenda?
I would just indicate that if you're watching us on YouTube, there are instructions to come over and join us in the Zoom webinar, and that's where you need to be in order to be recognized and have the opportunity to speak.
Do you see any up there?
No hands at the moment.
No members at this time. We have an opportunity at the end of the meeting. I'd entertain a motion to approve the resolutions as listed on the agenda.
So moved.
Item I. Second, please.
Second.
Second.
Okay, item I is the minutes. J, there's no action. K is the bill list. And other items in the business end. Personnel.
Nope.
Any questions on M, curriculum? We don't have any policies. Any questions before we take a roll call? 15 roll call vote, please.
Mr. O'Brien,
Aye.
Mr. Palma,
Yes.
Dr. Cordolino,
You're muted, Karen, I think.
Yes.
Mr. Daughtry,
Yes.
Mrs. Fano,
Yes.
Dr. Modrak,
Yes.
Mr. Rappaport,
Yes.
Ms. Zuckerman,
Yes.
Mr. Grouse,
Yes. There's no need to go into closed session. Section Q, any old business? Section R, new business or general board comments? Section S, this is an opportunity for the public to ask any questions they may have. Dr. Ovkar gave some instructions out. This would be the opportunity. Please raise your hand. Renee, do you see any hands up there?
Mrs. Wojcicki.
Welcome.
Is that good? Can
Yes,
Yep.
welcome.
Okay. I have one question, but it's related to several questions, all related to the same topic, I should say. Can you tell us, Dr. Ovtar, what was the outcome from the survey with specifically for the high school? How many kids are returning the fourth quarter?
At the high school, we have 265 additional students returning.
And so with those
265.
thank you. And with that number of children returning, can we still support this appropriate distancing in the classrooms and in the hallways?
The district's plan from the beginning indicated that social distancing between 3 and 6 feet would be provided, and yes, we are able to provide that.
Perfect. And so I hear again that between 3 and 6 feet. So I'd really like to know, what is it? Because is your
It depends on the classroom, Mrs. Wojcicki. It depends on how many students are in a classroom, how far we can space them out, but at a minimum, it would be 3 feet. And I do believe that Mr. Sanford indicated that in most cases, it's probably closer to 6 feet. But it all depends on the classroom, the size of the classroom, and the number of students that are in that class.
And that makes sense, but my question is really, if someone in that class is exposed, what is the distance from the exposed person who tested positive what is the distance?
Well,
that
that, right, close contact, the definition of close contact has not changed. That is still within 6 feet for a minimum of 15 minutes during a 24-hour period.
Interesting. Okay. And then lastly, can you confirm, isn't April 20th the first day of the quarter?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, I'm just confused because on Genesis it shows the 19th. So I just wanted to make sure. I thought it was.
Well, yes, and that would be the day that those students would be returning for the fourth marking period. It's April 20th.
It's a Tuesday. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
You're
Ms.
welcome.
Clinton.
Jean Gazillo?
Can you hear me?
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hi. I was just wondering, is there any word on prom?
No, not at the moment. And the problem is that currently there are restrictions on the number of people for social gatherings for events such as a prom. And currently, I believe that's restricted to 150 people. So that does present somewhat of a problem.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Are there any other questions?
No other hands?
Okay, as Dr. Cornelito indicated, we'll be meeting again in 2 weeks. If there are no other questions, which I'm told they're not, right, Mark?
Can I just ask one quickly? Should be pretty simple. To Dr. Rotar. Sorry.
Just closing public comment, Mike.
Oh, I thought if there are no other questions, I think I meant from the board. Okay, sorry.
Okay, go
We
ahead.
did go through that, Mike, the comments and old business and new business.
Go ahead.
Yeah, just one question. At Lazar in the high school, if you don't have the exact numbers, that's fine. I'm just wondering, what's the approximate breakdown, number of kids who are coming in person, number of kids who are staying virtual in each school?
I will be providing that to the board shortly after April 20th when we have everybody back in.
Okay, Mike? After everyone's here, so give us a report. Okay, since there are no other questions or comments, I would entertain a motion to adjourn, please.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. O'Brien, seconded by Dr. Modrak. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Yes.
Opposed? Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming and be safe, and we'll see you in a little while. Good evening.
Good night.